Good morning. Yes. Guess what, y'all? It's Friday. We're here. We're working. We're doing our thing. I don't even know what we're going to get recorded today, but it's Friday and we are making it happen. So, the only thing I would like to comment on, let me actually pay attention, is I did watch the new Sex and the City. I did watch it, and just like that, I'm not here for it. I don't like it. I was looking forward to seeing grown, matured, did something in the last 15 years with themselves, and instead I'm seeing like weird. I don't want to watch Carrie date again. I do not care about that storyline anymore. Like, I'm over it. I wanted to see Carrie actually in a relationship. Like, what would Carrie Bradshaw be like in a long-term committed relationship? And it's ups and it's downs. Like, what would she be like with a husband who she goes home to and she talks to? We got like a half an episode of that before Trauma. And then I don't want to hear about Miranda and her quest for her social justice life and her alcoholism and her attraction to women. Don't care. Maybe if they have her be in an open relationship. Now, if they go a little polyamory route, I might be interested in that because I'm like, oh, that's something different. That's something new. Don't care about Charlotte in the least. She's so annoying. Like, so annoying. And I guess it's supposed to be a little better because she has like a black friend now. But I'm like, no, she's still annoying. Can we trade? Can we trade her for the friend? Because Charlotte is awful, honestly. Like, she cries about everything all the time. And it's something that I hadn't paid too much attention to in the actual show, because even in the movie, like even in the show, yes, she would always have like emotional responses to things. But like in this one, it is awful. Like she had a similar response in the movie when Big stood up Carrie at the altar. She was very upset and very emotional for her friend. But in this show, it just seems like it's too much. Like, at some point, I would expect for her to be able to step outside of herself and be able to say, hey, maybe I don't need to be crying more than the individual that this is happening to. And as Carrie even said in one of the episodes, like, please don't make this about you. Are we still here? Is this where we still are? In the 15 years, what has happened in this show? What have they done? What's going on? I don't like it. I think it's weird. This is the second show that I have seen this on. It happened on my block, and it happened now in this new Sex and the City, where I have seen minors whose parents let them bring their partners over and have sex with them. Is that normal? Because that was not normal in my household, and I didn't really have any friends whose parents let them do that. That's the difference. Like, maybe they did stuff and their parents weren't aware of it, or their parents weren't like, maybe they knew, but they weren't saying like, sure, yeah. But like on my block with that little one, Rudy, I think his name is, him and that one girl were coming over and like hooking up when their parents were at the table. And then on just like that, like Brady, that's the son's name, they're letting him bring his little friend over and do things with her. And I'm just like, is that normal? I didn't think that was the norm, but maybe I'm just out of touch and not hip, or whatever you would call it. I don't know. I'm just not here for it. I wanted to see fabulous clothes, beautifully decorated homes, curated vacations. I wanted to see how they switch. Like I love Carrie moving from being a book author to having to incorporate new forms of media, a podcast, her socials, things like that. I wanted to see her maybe try to navigate the influencer space. I would love to watch Charlotte have to cope with, maybe newfound people with money because they made crypto money or something like that. And so now she's got all these people who are in her space that she's not used to having in her space, and adjusting to a new world, and the girls being older and what that means, cool for that. And I would love if they wrote it. I mean, I know she's highly emotional, but like, I would have loved if they wrote Charlotte as like a caring, loving, not trying to force her daughter to wear a dress when she obviously doesn't want one, but embracing of like difference in that way. Like that was her growth. I don't want to watch that growth happen. I want it to have happened over the last 15 years. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I want her to already be there. And then maybe a new step for her is still being able to navigate her adult friendships with balancing her children's activities and things that she wants to do. I could do that because we didn't get to see that because they were little babies or youngins when in the movies and the TV show. Okay. I don't care about Miranda and her, whatever she's got going on. I would like to see Miranda just be quiet, I guess, and maybe actually provide space for these people that she says she wants to advocate for to speak, and maybe show her putting together activities, show her putting on programs, show her going to marches, show her helping to organize, do things like that. Like, but I don't want to hear her ramble on and stumble over her words and say all these things that she's doing and like, no, that's bad. That's bad. Like, we know it happens. Does it have to happen to them? We already know this. That's my thing. I'm like, we already know this. This is already, and then I'm thinking maybe I'm the wrong audience for many reasons. But I mean, I was in high school, maybe. Yeah, I was in high school when Sex and the City first came out. So I didn't really watch it or get into it or anything like that till it was over. And so I don't even know if it might have been like ending. I don't know. I don't even know what year it ended. So I missed the whole like hype and like when people were like, I'm the Charlotte, and when like, 20 somethings and 30 somethings would go out, and then, the Cosmopolitan became the most, ordered drink and all of that. I missed all of that. I was not old enough for any of that. But is this show a reflection of what people in that age are actually experiencing? Like, are the writers in their 40s and 50s and 60s, or are the writers in their 20s and 30s and 40s and just kind of saying what they think people in that age group are experiencing? Because honestly, that's kind of what it feels like on my side, but I'm not of that age group and I don't know. So I'd love for someone in that age group who grew up in the hype of that, or not grew up in the hype of it, but like was that age during the hype when it was at its highest point, could watch the show and say like, yes, this is what's happening in my life now. Or could say like, no, this is not what people in my age range are experiencing. This is what people think people in my age group are experiencing. I was like the clothes are beautiful. That's what I was here for. I was here for the fashion and the clothing. Carrie's outfits are just, also the production value is so much better. It's definitely still at that, I think they have it was 6 seasons. It's still at that 6 season quality. It's at that movie quality that they had. Production, fantastic. So much better. The storylines are just why? Like, maybe show them someone needing to buy a new house in this wild housing market, not being able to sell, or the places they want going off the market super quickly. We know they're privileged. We know they're not going to be struggling in these areas, but like, that's an interesting storyline. Maybe someone wanting to move out of New York, because of all the stuff going on and people are moving out of New York, or an influx of people who are moving into New York. And what does that look like? Like, why is Miranda in school? Why is Miranda not a professor? I feel like that's a storyline I would actually be like, yeah, okay, that's believable. Like, it would be more believable for me for Miranda to be teaching a law class at maybe like a community university or something like that, or even like maybe, oh, come on now, Miranda doing like her own podcast about law and like how that works and how that impacts social justice and our society, or her, being a guest lecturer or something like that. Like, take a realistic route. We don't have to try to bridge the gap between how do we connect these older women to younger audiences so they'll watch this show and we can capture all of these people. Like, please, no, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch older women who are aspirational in what they're doing. I don't want any of this. And maybe that's the point. Maybe that's supposed to be the point of the show, is that it's not supposed to be aspirational. It's just supposed to be their experiences like they were. But I don't want to be having the same experiences I was having when I was in my 20s, when I'm in my 50s. And it feels like they're still having those moments. And that's where they are losing me, because I'm like, where is the actual growth here? I feel like from season 1, which I have watched all of Sex and the City, from season 1 to season 6, we actually saw some character growth. And it seems like all of that just went like down the drain in this new one. But like, where did that go? What happened? It just disappeared? Were they traumatized by COVID and they regressed? Is that what it is? Like, I don't understand it. I don't like it. So anyways, I'm going to continue to watch though for the outfits, and that's about it. Anyway, I got stuff to do. I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all later.